Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this video, if you could hit that subscribe button down below, that would really help me out. But today's video is about the Cardiff game tomorrow. This is a preview of the first game of the Championship season for Leeds. Southampton won last night against Sheffield Wednesday 2-1, and nobody else has played yet at time of recording. So Leeds United going into a game at Elland Road against Cardiff. I am going to that, so you will get a match day vlog as well, but today is going to be a little bit of a preview. So Cardiff then, a lot of people have been touting them as the ones to go down or be in a really bad position in the Championship, 21st. They've made a few good signings, a few very astute signings. Players like Gutas, the Greek central defender from Sivasspor in the Turkish league. He was actually in the Turkish Super League team of the season because he played that well there. So to get him on a free is a really good deal for them. They've also got Aaron Ramsey in midfield. They've signed Carlin Grant. They've got a decent team now, a half-decent Championship side. I still think we're too much for them, but they have made some good signings, so I don't think they'll be as much of a walkover as some people might think they are. And they never really are anyway, because we notoriously know that we don't really ever get many good results against Cardiff. Obviously, we did in the Cup last season under Jesse Marsh when we won 5-2, but let's not forget we drew 2-2 in the first game and had to take that to a second leg of that. So Cardiff struggle on their opening day as well. They've not won in the last few opening days of the season, and Leeds have done well in the Championship on their last few opening days of the season as well. So it does bode well for Leeds being at Elland Road, having a lot of Premier League quality players in there, and we will talk about who I think is going to be in that team. But Sam Byram has just signed as well, so he is an option on the bench. I would expect he will be available and allowed to be on the bench for this game, and that's why they've done it before the game on Sunday. So Leeds United then, how are we going to play? Well, we're going to play attacking and pressing high up the pitch because, as Lockie identified, Lockie Leeds, if you want to go and subscribe to him, he identified that Cardiff have been playing out from the back a lot this season, this pre-season, and the goals that they've conceded, a lot of them have been from that. So they're not fully into the swing of things in terms of playing out from the back yet, and I think they will be a little bit rusty in that sense. So when they start the Championship season, they may not be anywhere near as good at playing out from the back as they are when they get a little bit further into the season. So we've probably caught them at quite a good time for that. And we've got players like Sinistera, Somerville, Dan James, who are all pretty good pressers of the ball, especially Dan James with his pace. And so we may be able to take advantage of that. And I think that will come into play in this game. They've got a decent attacking line, a decent Championship attacking line with Callum Robinson, Carlin Grant, and a few others in there. They've signed, I think it's Yaku Mate that they've signed that is injured at the moment, but they'll have Shea Ojo, I think, up there in the attack. So they've got a half-decent side, but Leeds, I think, are prepared well. We've got a decent defence at the moment. Obviously, we need another right centre-back, but I think at the moment, Charlie Cresswell is certainly capable of playing that role and playing that role really well. So that actually leads me on into what I think the lineup will be. So I think because Farke has actually said it already, he said that Meslier will be starting number one in this game, so you'll have Meslier in goal. Now, whether that's a good decision or not, Carl Darlow hasn't had that much time to play, but he's been given the number 28 shirt rather than number 1 shirt, and that's gone to Meslier. So you're kind of thinking that Carl Darlow might be the second choice keeper this season, barring some bad form from Meslier that makes Farke think twice about having him as his number 1 goalkeeper. But we know that Meslier under Bielsa in the Championship had his best time there, and he had his best time there because the defence in front of him didn't concede as many shots. And even though this defence that I'm going to put out on the screen is comprised of 2 of the players who actually were with us in the Premier League and playing the football that was conceding a lot of goals, a lot of people complain and said they're Championship level. Now they're back in the Championship, this is their level, so let's see what they can do. People still saying that they're not good enough. Well, you said that they were Championship level, so let's see what they can do at this level, because I think they're good enough for this level. How many times am I going to say level in this video? But yeah, so Liam Cooper and Charlie Cresswell are the 2 centre-backs for me. I think it can be reminiscent of Ben White and Liam Cooper in that season where we got promoted, and I think Charlie Cresswell really needs to come through and show how good of a young player he is. And I think he's brilliant. To be in that England under-21s team with the likes of the other players that were in there, he's done really well. So Charlie Cresswell and Liam Cooper, I think, are going to be an excellent partnership going forward. And I got Pascal Strauch on the bench as well, who's a decent ball-playing defender, but he needs to play his way back into form a little bit. Then you've got Ayling at right back and Hjelde at left back. Now, Ayling, I think, is good at getting forward, especially in the Championship. You saw with his goal, the winner that he scored against Hearts, got forward well, opened up the space, and having that overlap allowed him to be in behind when the wingers came inside and opened that space for him. So I think that's a good role for Ayling, and you could see him get a bit of success down that right-hand side. And then Hjelde, who is more likely to not go as far forward, but to be an inverted left-back and almost tuck into the midfield. What we've seen in pre-season is that when Leeds are in possession and they're playing on the attack, you have a player like Hjelde who'll tuck into the middle and he'll make it almost a 2-3-5. So you have Cooper and Cresswell, and then you'll have Hjelde, Ampadu and Gray as the three midfielders. We'll come on to talk about them a little bit. And then up front you have the front four plus Ayling as well. So I think that's the way it'll work. When we go into midfield, Ethan Ampadu has to start. He's been absolutely brilliant in pre-season, and the passes that he provides allows people like Dan James, like Sinisterra, like Somerville to play on the shoulder and look down those wings, knowing that you can pick them out with a lovely pass. So Ethan Ampadu also really good at coming back, receiving the ball, turning, going into midfield and helping Leeds to play out from the back. So Ampadu's going to be a key player in this. The next one, Archie Gray at 17 years old. I think he is going to start in this game. And I think he, alongside Ampadu, will have a good role to play in there. A little bit further forward than Ampadu, but still coming back, making some tackles and distributing the ball as well as he does for such a young man. So I think Archie Gray will be in there, and I think he will be protected slightly by the fact he's next to Ampadu. But I don't think he needs that much protection anymore, because I think he's a really, really promising player. Then you've got the three attacking midfield positions. We'll do left and right first. So Cini on the left. Cini has to start when he's fit, because he is one of the best, if not the best player in the Championship in terms of skill and quality and the ability to find a pass and score a goal. So Sinisterra, no-brainer to have him in there. He'll be brilliant. And then on the other side, Dan James, who I think, and as if you've seen my video yesterday, I think he's going to be player of the season. I think he's had a brilliant pre-season. The passes that he's putting into the box and the crosses that he's putting in are really, really going to be useful for somebody like Joffy, because Joffy is the only player that we've got fit, or maybe even at all at the club, who is the player that will make runs front and back post for those type of crosses in the corridor of uncertainty, in front of the goalkeeper, behind the defenders. I think Joffy's the only one who will make those runs with that striker's instinct to score. And I think that Joffy will score, assisted by Dan James with a cross like that. So I think that them two are going to link up really well. And then in behind them is Somerville. Now, Somerville is in this role because I think that's where Daniel Farke will play, and this is a bit of a mix between what I want to see and the fact that I think Farke will play these players in these positions. So I think Somerville's going to play through the middle because he has so far. I would like to see Sinisterra in the middle at some point, but I think Somerville will do a fine job there. Maybe Poveda could come off the bench and offer a little bit of a different type of player in that number 10 a little bit later on in the game. The reason this says The View, by the way, collab with Leeds Lately, is because on Jer's podcast, which is out now if you want to check it out, we all went through our lineup, so I created this graphic, so I thought I may as well use it for this this video as well. So if you want to check that out, that's Jer's channel, Leeds United, The View, and The View podcast that was on. But yeah, this is the lineup. Let me know what you think your lineup would be in the comments below. But I think this lineup would do really well, and I think it'll beat Cardiff. The scoreline that I'm going with is 2-1 to Leeds United. I think we will concede because we always seem to concede against Cardiff, and we're not fully set up into the swing of things with Daniel Farke yet. Yes, we've been playing good football with him, but we haven't necessarily faced any opposition like the Championship opposition that we will be facing yet. Obviously we had Forest, but they were a little bit earlier into their pre-season, so it remains to be seen how we deal with an actual Championship side. But yeah, I think we're going to go for a 2-1 win, one of the goals being a Dan James cross and a Joffy assist at the near or far post, wherever it goes to. A Dan James assist and a Joffy goal. I think I said that wrong the first time, but I can't remember. Either way, I think Leeds are going to win 2-1. And I think this is the team to do it. I think this is a really strong side. Even though we need signings, and yes, we definitely do, I think it's still a strong side, and I don't think there's as much need for panic as some people think there is. But yeah, I'll be at the game tomorrow, so you'll get a match day vlog after I'm back. But other than that, that's been Leeds Lately. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.